All right, folks. I'm gonna review Travis Scott and JackBoys compilation album JackBoys. Now, this was a part of Travis Scott's Cactus Jack Records, and it basically furthered the impact that Travis Scott and his collective were having after the enormous success of Astroworld. Now, I haven't really covered Travis Scott that much because I've been kind of trying to blend in and not kind of come off as like a boomer or a rookie or something like that in terms of like trap music and this the kind of stuff that's been weaving throughout Instagram and TikTok and places like that. But I don't actually dislike certain degrees of this style. Like he does like a certain type of trap, and I heard a number of songs. I watched a few of the music videos last year when this came out. So I saw like he released the song with Pop Smoke. I saw that before Pop Smoke died. And I kind of had in the back of my head I wanted to cover something that Pop Smoke had done, but then also some stuff that Travis Scott had done as well. So this is a quick project, real brief. It's just an EP, but it's treated as an album, but it's really just an EP considering that there's only 6 full songs. But it does the ability to showcase a number of rappers. So you get Travis Scott, who actually kind of takes a backseat. He doesn't have like the most powerful, completely dominant role, but then you also get Don Toliver, who's kind of I've heard him on songs a lot on Instagram and TikTok and places like that, and around. He's kind of like the hook person, and he's kind of like the R&B singer, I would say, kind of like their Frank Ocean. And then Sheck West and Luxury Tax are some extra rappers. And I really didn't recall hearing too much out of their DJ Chase B. So, just to kind of talk about that, I just would have to relatively say that the crew has an interesting enough tangent about them, but um, yeah, we'll just get to it. So there's not too much to really complain about this project. It's not like it's a bad album, and it's very relevant, like right now, not 15 minutes ago, and that sort of stuff. Even though I'm reviewing it a year later, so there were 3 singles. The first one was "Highest in the Room," so Travis Scott dropped that as an original song, but then he scooped up. I don't know if Rosalia was on on the original song, but her and Lil Baby are on there, and it's not what I was expecting for as far as that went. This is real. Uh, Feels like something European almost. It just kind of has like a different kind of like romantic feel to it almost, which was surprising. It wasn't typical trap. I liked it. It's a different type of song, and yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's difficult to kind of say that it would be trap. But then Gang Gang was the second song, and this is a song I've heard outside of like the places I usually am at. And Travis Scott is hardly on this song, but the rest of the Jack Boys crew kind of shows up on here, and yeah, I mean it's good, but uh, yeah, it's good. And then the third single was Out West, and I would have almost thought that I heard Lil Wayne rap to this song. It feels like the type of song that Lil Wayne would rap to. I don't think he put out a mixtape in 2020 apart from No Ceilings 3, but it just feels like something Lil Wayne would rap to. It kind of has like a real uh, kind of hypnotic kind of beat, and Young Thug kind of does well on it, and then Travis Scott's also on the song, but there's no one else. The thing about this Jack Boys project that I was kind of hoping is that it's very select how some of these other rappers will kind of appear on the songs. Travis Scott's on every song except for Had Enough, but the rest of these guys, like Don Toliver, kind of shows up on a couple, but I would have almost thought, to kind of give them more lighting. They have like their definitive moments where it's their time to shine, but if you don't like the song, it almost gives the approach that you won't like the rapper or the musician that they are. And that's the thing. That's why it's difficult to kind of grade a compilation group or a collective, a posse off of only 6 songs when each of the artists only really gets 2 songs to shine. And that's just kind of the thing. I mean, Sheck West is only on 1 or 2 songs. He's just on Gang Gang and then What to Do, I think, and then that's about it. So he gets 2 songs. Don Toliver gets 3. He's on the hook a couple times, and he gets his own song. So he dropped an album this year. Don Toliver. He was the next one to kind of break out of the fold. I mean, I think they all dropped albums. I think Sheck West dropped an album. I don't know about. Um, I don't know about Luxury Tax, but I think Sheck West at least put out a project. But yeah, Don Toliver basically has verses on like a couple songs, but well, yeah, he has verses on a couple songs and then he does the hook. So he's kind of like Frank Ocean, kind of like Odd Future, that sort of stuff. But it's interesting just because it blends. It's kind of the transition to how this blends is kind of it's a bumpy road, but when it works, it actually works well. And that's just kind of the thing. If you don't agree with the way that it was kind of thrown together, that may be the only problem. But I felt like the song What to Do was a brilliant song to show off Don Toliver, more so than his actual song Had Enough with the Migos group. That's kind of a soulful song, Had Enough, soulful. Had Enough is it. I really felt like Don Toliver didn't have the voice to carry like a soulful song like that. It felt like that was something I would picture like Marvin Gaye or some sort of more soul-induced R&B singer. It just for him who kind of came about on trap music and that sort of stuff. It almost worked, but his voice was just a little bit too high pitched and shrill for that sort of song. But Quavo and Offset worked well on this song. So that was kind of the thing. If he had had a different voice, it probably would have worked a little bit better. But it's not like he can't do hooks. I mean, it's not like like he did well on Gang Gang. That one was different. But so that's like the only song on this project I didn't enjoy was Had Enough, and then the intro, the JackBoys intro, were the only 2. So the other 5 songs I did like. And like I was saying, What to Do shows off Don Toliver really well, and Travis Scott is also on the song and the rest of them. But then I also like the song Gotti. I mean, Pop Smoke, I don't know an overabundance about him, but it was crazy just the way that song sounded. It felt really kind of snakish. I mean, the way that song kind of carried itself, it felt like it immersed you into like the realness of that record, and it was especially good just because Pop Smoke can do a hook. And I'm not so sure if that was just like a fluke or if he can actually do hooks like he did on that song, but it sounded so haunting. It sounded so haunting, so kind of like spookily kind of creepy, just the way that was kind of went. It was just like, yeah, that's the kind of shit that we needed more songs like that. And not just on this project, but kind of on the radio and that sort of stuff. Just the way it went, it felt like you're just speeding down the highway, some shit like that, getting ready to do something, not getting ready to do it, but kind of in the midst of already doing it. And it was kind of, I appreciated that song as far as this kind of, actually like, we're getting turned up, we're getting cranked up tonight, that sort of stuff. So that was good. But Pop Smoke is deceased, so unfortunately we can't have more songs like that. But it was just kind of like, damn. I mean, Travis Scott was actually upstaged by Pop Smoke on this song. I mean, he felt like his accomplice on that song more so than the other way around. And that was just kind of the thing, just to talk about a few of those records. So Highest in the Room was probably Travis Scott's best song. I feel like What to Do was probably Don Toliver's best song. Gotti was just good because of Pop Smoke. I mean, Travis Scott was an aid to that song, but that was really a Pop Smoke song. And the JackBoys as a group, their best song was Gang Gang. So that's just kind of the situation. But the rest of the guys, I mean, Sheck West, that's why I said it probably should have been longer to grade than just 6 songs, because he needed like his own standout song and more room to kind of, you know, spread his character out, and then the other guy, I keep forgetting his name, but uh, luxury tax didn't have enough room either. That's just kind of the situation. I mean, you get the sense. I mean, I'm glad that they did it, but it feels really brief to cover something like this. And these folks that do have talent, but it's so shortchanged being able to see it because there's not a bunch to complain about in terms of the quality of the tracks. Is the fact a number of complaints I have is the fact that there's not enough room to kind of see the talent that some of these folks have, and then the fact that they're kind of used on songs that don't maybe fit like their characters. Like I feel like Had Enough did that, and then obviously like Out West and Gotti, there should have been some extra fellows on there. They could have thrown Sheck West on Gotti. Should have been Pop Smoke, Travis Scott, Sheck West. Would have been interesting to kind of have that work, and it's the same thing with Out West to kind of get that done. But that's just kind of the situation. You think, oh yeah, well, what would the rest of this crew look like with some of these bigger names where these just feel like, you know, stellar songs? That's kind of the situation. There was no one from JackBoys on Highest in the Room either. I mean, I know that that was supposed to be a Travis Scott song, but considering that it was a collective, we could have used that. So that's just kind of the thing. I mean, Travis Scott's the one who gets the most shine on here, but he kind of takes a back seat in the process of doing that. So that's what makes that strange. That's what you have. So I'm going to give this album, me liking 5 songs out of 7, I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. And the social score I will give an 8 because unfortunately, even though they had 3 singles, it didn't really showcase the group as well as I may have wanted. Kind of stuttering in this review, I don't know why, but it's kind of the situation. I mean, really, I like that. Highest in the Room was a good song, and so was Out West, but the presentation of it was not quite as complete and executed as well as it needed to be. So that's kind of the thing. I mean, you just feel like you get the good songs, but it's kind of mismatched because the people you want on the song aren't really there. And sometimes Travis Scott kind of takes a back seat on songs that he should have kind of solidified himself. So this is kind of, songs are good, but the presentation's kind of messed up for the most part. But it still gets an 8 out of 10. It's still a pretty damn solid project.